Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah, and here on my channel I post lifestyle, university, and physiotherapy related content. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell to all so you don't miss a video. This is going to be a short little video. I just wanted to give you guys these tips. They've been playing on my mind. So I thought, hey, make a video about it, help other people avoid it. So yes, we are going to talk about mistakes I made during my time at university. And that's just like either studying mistakes, general social mistakes, just all over mistakes. But make it quick. Okay. This is a chill video, as I said before. I've got my little notes here. I've written down the mistakes. Alright, so the first mistake that I thought I would tell you guys that I feel like I made from university was putting too much pressure on myself. And what I mean by that is, in my undergrad, I don't do it so much now in my masters. In my masters right now, I'm kind of just like, as long as I pass, I'm like, it is what it is, because at the end of the day, when I graduate and when I apply for jobs as a physio, they're not going to care what grade I got. They're going to care that I've passed and that I'm actually qualified to do the job that I'm doing. So I'm not going to put the stress on myself that I did in my undergrad to ensure that I got the 2-1. So that's what I mean in that sense, because I pushed myself so much to the point of burnout and it was just so unnecessary. So my main thing this year and like this whole degree now is, as I said, passing everything, and on top of just passing everything, it's actually making memories and like enjoying myself with these years that, you know, these 2 years that I actually have that aren't gonna come back again. Like, I wish in my undergrad I did more traveling, which leads me to another thing that, like, a mistake I made at uni, is that during my 4 years of studying in undergrad, other than studying abroad, I didn't like travel as much as I probably could have or should have. In between the little breaks, made the most of it. I focused solely on grades quite a bit, when in those moments it's kind of like, what do they matter? Like, you know, as long as you pass, who cares? Like, no one asked me, oh, did you get a 2-1? Like, no one asked me that now. And like, I understand when it comes to jobs and when it comes to applying for like a higher education, they will ask you that stuff. But I just mean like in general, day to day, most of the cases, grades don't matter. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, you know, I'm not saying don't go for a 2-1 or a first or a 2-2, etc. Just saying. So that's 2 of my points. Another point I had down here is not asking for help when I could have done with it. So by that I mean, so I'm not the type of person who, when I'm struggling, no, it sounds stupid, but when I'm like struggling in class, I'm not the type to be to a teacher, hey, I'm struggling, can you help me? I'm more likely to email the teacher that, if anything. Or sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'll figure it out by myself, because like, it's just not who I am. I've always been like that, where I'm a bit like, don't really want to talk to you, don't really want to go over to ask you a bunch of questions, even though that's what you're paid to do for me, to help, like, to help me kind of thing. I don't know, but that's something sometimes I regret not doing, because maybe my work would have been better. And going back to the whole grade thing, it probably would have graded higher if I did a few of that, those things. But, you know, you live and you learn. It just depends on the type of person you are. So I do wish I asked for help, and not just work-wise, but like just general help. Like if I was struggling with anything, should have asked. And it's always important to feel like you can talk to them. Cleaning up after others. So throughout my whole time, I don't know why I went dark there. Let's see what's going on. There you go. What's it called? So throughout my whole time in university, undergrad, and currently, I've always lived with other people. Apart from the one time where, like, in my 4th year, I stayed and commuted from home. But other than that, I've always lived with other people. And my issue with living with other people, or just the general, not even my issue, just a general issue with living with other people, is that everybody has different cleaning standards. I'm not saying other people are dirty or other people are too clean. It's just literally you have different standards of what you're comfortable with. And mostly in my undergrad, I dealt with situation where it's like, I'm not comfortable leaving the kitchen looking like this, or whatever. Like, my own personal space would look one way and then the other common space would look another way, and then I found myself constantly cleaning, and it's like, don't get in that trap. Because once you're in the trap of where you're the person who's constantly changing the toilet roll, or you're the person who's constantly taking the bin out, you're going to be known as the binman and the toilet changer. Like, that's what you're going to be known as. And they will not tell you that, but they will let you do it. People will deliberately use the tiniest piece of the roll and in the hopes that you're the next person who's going to go there, so you change it, because they know you're going to complain about it. And I've had a few times where I've been like, no, you're not gonna do that, Mariah, don't clean it, don't take that out, don't do it. And then when they haven't done it after a week, you get infuriated and you're like, oh, screw it, I'll do it anyway. Trap, don't get involved in it. So that's a big thing that I think a lot of people deal with, not just myself. Another one I have down here is caring a bit too much about others. So I don't mean it in terms of a, like, don't give a crap about other people type way, but I mean it in terms of, so if you have a friend that doesn't attend class, or you have like, what's it called, someone needs help with something. I'm not saying don't help people, but also, and like there's a limit to everything basically. End of the day, it's only going to be your name on the certificate at the end. So you can care for other people and help other people like to the extreme, as long as it's not impacting yourself. And that's like my main point with that, because I find sometimes, like, if I have a friend who's not attending class, or I have a friend who's just struggling with something, and if I try to tell you something and like to help you with it, and then you got to the point you're not really helping yourself, and for some reason I'm still invested in being like, oh, you should go, no, you should do this, why are you not being there, da, 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 da. I'm wasting my own time, okay? And I don't want you to waste your time, so I'm telling you now, ignore it. You told them a few times, you attempted to be a good friend, you do you, boo, you do you. And that's how I feel on that one. I'm like, I care a little bit too much in those senses. Because each to their own. Some people, even though you like, some people go to uni and, you know, like you have the lectures, etc. Some people learn better from actually watching back the lecture footage compared to actually being in the lecture. So don't focus on others, is what I wish I could have told myself back then, when I was too busy moaning about others to them being like, why are you not attending this? Another thing I have down here is becoming one of the people that, like, this is what I mean by like helping other people. Sometimes, like, it's good to help other people, but then sometimes you get to a point where, because you're accustomed to helping other people know you're doing that, you become the person they message with queries. Hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind helping a friend out if you're struggling. I don't mind telling you, hey, yeah, this is how I got there. But I don't like when it gets to the point where you message me more than you message the teacher. Or when it gets to the point where it's like, I'm spoon feeding you information. That's not my job. I don't get paid for it. This is volunteer service. Like, and I don't volunteer like that. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I would say, reminding people is like, unless I sign up to be a student rep, which I have never done, don't. Just please don't. So I think that's like an approach people should recognize. And lastly, but most importantly, I've got down here in caps for myself, not recognizing signs of stress. It's very important to recognize when you are getting stressed, you're getting burnt out. If you're like me, you take on a lot, and sometimes you don't realize you're burnt out until you're burnt out, and that's not a really good thing. I don't know why my voice just decided to crack there and start breaking down, but recognizing when you're stressed is very important to keep yourself, one, sane, not wanting to drop out of uni, but also it's just important, okay? Like, I can't articulate right now, but like, it's very important to recognize when you're stressed and when you're getting close to that burnout stage. So my tip for that would be to find stuff that you enjoy and try and do them alongside your, like, whether it's uni or work or whatever, try and do them alongside it. So for me, it's like either going to society, having that one fun thing a week, or it could be me going to work on the weekends, having that things where it's a different setting, different mindset. So it's something that takes you away from that. Or my good old trick is planning something you have to look forward to. So like, I have to look forward to going to a concert, or I have to look forward to going to a holiday, like, and going abroad somewhere. That drives you, knowing that you do have something planned to have that moment of relief. Whereas I feel like if you don't have something planned, or you don't have something in mind, or it's structured for you to have that downtime, you just get to a point where you're always running on 100. And it's not healthy, guys. It's not healthy. But I'm going to end on that note before this video gets really long and unnecessarily long. But yeah, those were mistakes I made at university, and I'm telling you them because I don't want you to make those mistakes. I hope this video was interesting, and if it was, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.